on one level, they're all the same. It doesn't matter what the system is, who the guru is, where it comes from, who's teaching it. Yoga is the same. We're trying to get to some space, have some kind of experience with the yoga, whether it's enlightenment or healing or calming the mind or getting healthy or eliminating some kind of disease or just being present. But if we look kind of more subtly at some of the different things that happen in that process, from practicing different styles of yoga, Ashtanga is the only one that I've found that really works deeply with the egos. I'm going to explain a little bit why I think that is. Some yoga practices are offered in a way that can accommodate all levels of practitioners, where anybody can do the practice no matter what their situation is, how their physical ability is, what mental capacity they have, what their breath is like, what their diet is like. And that's great to have those types of practices because it's universal. Anybody can do it. I'm a big believer of this. The limitation, though, for transformation, to really have an opportunity to transcend things in those type of yogas is clear in my eyes. That it doesn't have as deep of potential in a lot of ways. So these types of yogas that are more open and universal than anybody, what do they usually make people feel when they do the practice or after they do the practice? How do they feel about themselves? Good. In a word, good. Okay? Because when we look at some of the sequences where you don't have to do things like sun salutations or deep twists and things in the knees like Marichasanas or putting the legs behind the head or back bends, anybody can do those practices. And no matter where they are, they can sweat, they can feel their body working, their breath working, like they feel really good about themselves. And if you keep doing that practice like that for a long time, you continue to feel good about themselves. And they'll get some benefits of purification, like some cleansing, and maybe change the way they see and experience things. But it will rarely start to work with the ego. It basically makes the ego puff up, makes them feel really good about themselves, like, wow, I'm doing this yoga and I'm sweating so much, and I can do this and I can do that. And the teaching is offered in a way, if you can't do this or this doesn't feel right to you, that's fine. Just do it this way or do it however you want. If you don't want to do it at all, just skip it. That's fine. So again, at one level this is all right, but this doesn't give us an opportunity to break through barriers in our life, to work through limitations. Contrary with Ashtanga, for some time, how do you feel when you do the practice? Frustrated, challenged, beaten, broken, okay? Physically, mentally, energetically. So when this kind of thing happens, it makes us have to make a choice. We either run away and say, fuck this is too hard, it's too hard for my body, it's too hard to remember all those poses, it's too hard to remember those dristis, I keep forgetting to breathe, and it's, there's rules, and if I can't do that pose, I don't get to do the next pose. I don't want to do that, I don't like it, I want to do whatever the hell I want. And then we go to do some other yoga, or we stop doing yoga. The other choice is to stay with it and look at what's coming up for you. If those kind of ideas that I just expressed are coming up for you, and you think, okay, well, yeah, this sucks that I can't do the next pose, or it's frustrating that I can't accomplish this pose, or it's hard that I keep getting so tired and not being able to practice as long as other people. But why is that? Why is this coming up for me? And what happens if I stay and try? So normally if you stay and try, you'll continue to get frustrated, you'll continue to get challenged, and you'll have an opportunity to transcend whatever that limitation is. But only if you stay with it, you work. But the reality of the situation is, that type of situation with the Ashtanga practice is why there's only 12 people in this teacher's training. And not 44 or 60. Because the practice is for anybody. As you heard me explain, the way we're learning it is it can be accommodated and offered to anybody slowly. If we understand the sequence, we understand how to break down these puzzle systems we've been working with, we can teach people the key components of breath, body, breathing, and vinyasa. Even if they just start with sun salutes and the standing sequence, they're doing Ashtanga. And this will start them on the path of transformation. But at some point, they have to work through all those different walls they come up against. But even though anybody can do this practice, not a lot of people want to do it. Okay? Because it brings up a lot of shit. It brings up a lot of frustration, as you said. It brings up a lot of conflict. It brings up competitive mindset, energy. It brings up a desire to do something that maybe you're not ready to do. Brings up a lot of stuff around the ego. And if we can work through that stuff, whether it's on our own, being patient, going slowly, or surrendering to a teacher that we trust and we believe in, that's going to take us through this process, then we can come out the other side in a different space, in a different mindset relative to the restrictions that we might experience in the practice. Okay? So this happens in a lot of different ways in the Ashtanga process. It happens with yourself when you feel the body not wanting to move into a pose, or you feel you hit a wall that maybe you were doing really well for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden you get to a place in the practice that my hips just don't move this way, or my knee doesn't want to do this, or this back bend is too hard. Okay, everything was great, and I was loving it, and I was on this high, and Ashtanga was the coolest thing. Now I fucking hate it. It's too hard. And, every time I try to do these back bends in the second series, there's all this emotion, and I start crying. What kind of yoga is it that makes me cry every day when I get to this same pose? So, if we run away and say, okay, this is not right. If I'm crying, I shouldn't be doing this. Although we also have the opportunity to say, okay, why does it make me want to cry? What's in there? What's coming out? What is the opportunity if I stay with it and work through it? Will it get worse or will it get better? Will it stop? Will I learn from it? Will I grow? The answer is, almost always, is that there's definitely going to be some kind of growth for it. This takes work though.